And that's what we've been seeing throughout Green Isle here. We've been here all day yesterday and now all morning now. We haven't been able to find anyone in Green Isle who knows Vance Belter. I even went to a BP gas station yesterday to talk to the woman at the counter. The woman said she's worked there for many years. She'd never seen Vance Belter. She saw the pictures of him on the news. He didn't look familiar. His name didn't sound familiar. So we haven't been able to find anyone in Green Isle who knows this man.
So the mainstream media has been going all over town trying to find people that know Vance Belter. But they can't find anyone outside of some close neighbors. They cannot find a single person that knows Vance. Their words, not mine. You heard it there first. So don't shoot the messenger. I'm just going off of what they're claiming. They can't find anyone that knows Vance. I find that really odd. It's almost as if he doesn't exist, but we know that he does, of course. I mean, we have photos of Vance bringing donuts to the local police department. We know that Vance had worked in multiple jobs in the area. We also know that Vance worked for Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota. So he's working for the governor of Minnesota, but no one knows him. You can't find anyone that knows the guy. He's the founder, the head. I mean, he has his own security business. Who is he providing security to? It seemed like a pretty serious business. This guy had some nice equipment. He had security trucks that looked like police cars. Who was he providing security services for? You can't find any of those people? The guy was flying to Africa, helping to bring people from the Congo to America and all this type of stuff. But no one knows Vance. No one outside of the Fat Papa John's pizza tosser, buddy slash roommate slash I don't even know what the hell to believe anymore. They can't find anyone else that knows the guy despite his background, despite owning this security business, despite working for the governor, despite obviously being familiar with local law enforcement. But they can find his pizza delivering friend, who they've already interviewed multiple times now. And of course, every time they interview him, he drops a little tidbit of information that the mainstream media can use to try to spin this as if, oh, everything's Donald Trump's fault. This guy's a Trump voter. He's a Trump voter. Never mind the fact that he was working directly with Tim Walz. Never mind the fact that he's bringing in African immigrants from the Congo. Never mind all of that. It's like the whole story is about his political leanings instead of what crime he committed. What I'm more interested in is how in the hell did he manage to pull this off? I mean, it's not that hard to vote for someone, but it is hard to pull something like this off, especially as an older, not even physically fit gentleman. How are you evading law enforcement in the way that he is? I don't know. It makes you think he may have help. But they keep saying they can't find anyone that really knows Vance, but they keep interviewing this pizza guy that he was living with, which was kind of odd as well. He would only stay at that house a couple of nights a week while he was working, allegedly. And the pizza guy drops a little bit of information like, oh, he voted for Trump, or, oh, I don't want him to be remembered as a crazy right-winger. You know, matter of fact, instead of taking my word for it, let's go ahead and play the interview of the Papa John's man and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
No, because he was on call for work, and he'd always say, yeah, I need rest for work, so I'm sharp. Because he was extracting eyeballs, so gotta be sharp for that.
I remember him walking out of the house, or hearing him walking out or anything like that.
Nope.
Was it unusual for him to go to bed at 7 p.m.? I mean, when you say
Well, it depends on the shift, no, because he is working all kinds of hours. Didn't seem odd, no.
Did he give you any emotional message, said that he loves you, besides the text messages or something like that that seemed off?
Well, he said that he made some choices. And he said, you guys don't know anything about it, but, yeah.
Another big ass.
But he said he didn't have much time to live.
Another big ass. Do you mind if I take a picture of the text message?
Nah,
You
I
can
kind of,
block out his number. I just
yeah.
wanna see-
Well, the thing is, I kind of keep that private because I read it to people, and I don't know. I just got to get going. I have to.
Is his phone still ringing when you called?
No, it's,
Go straight to voicemail?
yeah, just voicemail. He doesn't want me involved.
Yeah.
So he's not going to call me. He's not going to receive calls from me.
Can we at least see the text?
Well, everyone's taking pictures. I don't know why I'm so. He sent it to me and a friend, so it wasn't just me. And I don't know if my friend would think about me sharing that with everybody. I mean, I read it out loud just so you guys could get a context of what I feel when I read it.
Yeah.
And
Can you read it to us? We were in here yesterday.
yeah, I know. But I got to really get going.
Do you have a message for him in case he's watching? He watches. Do you want to send him a message?
Yeah, tell him I love him and he's still my best friend, and I hope he doesn't kill anybody else. And I hope he surrenders himself for the sake of his family.
You must be disappointed.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to see him killed, and I'll still visit him in prison, I guess.
I'm sorry.
That's
Can you tell us
what else are you gonna do? But I just don't want him to give up on life or kill himself.
Are you concerned he may have already done that?
Sure.
You said that he said in recent days he made choices that you don't know about. Tell us about those conversations, please.
Those weren't that's was a
That was
text.
the text.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything in your interactions with him in the days before this happened that made you wonder.
No, that made me call the police. The
text did.
Yeah.
But any conversations you had in the last few days prior to this, nothing seemed.
Well, like we said, we had our separate lives. I worked and he worked, and he was here, and sometimes he'd go down and we'd hang out, but we would never, sometimes politics would be on the TV, but he was never really anything that was in-depth conversation about, just comments, and
And just for the record, your name is David Crossing.
yeah, with a C.
With a C.
Because this is Minnesota, and you guys don't know Carlson? Carlson. Carlson. Norwegian, Swedish, yeah. But, yeah.
Thank you. I don't want to take more of your time, so thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks for entertaining.
I just want you guys to just not say crazy right-winger gone nuts and that was all he is, it just bothers me that's his legacy. But I knew him all my life. He wasn't that guy, You're gonna kill me.
Look, on one hand, I feel bad for this guy because you're caught up in the middle of this chaotic situation. You're just trying to go to work at Papa John's. You got reporters outside of your house harassing you. You're already in the middle of this chaotic situation. You're trying to process your emotions. You're trying to process your feelings. You're really trying to take it all in. Everything seems fake. It doesn't even seem real yet. The realization sets in at awkward moments. Maybe you can hold yourself together for a little while, but at other times you kind of crumble under your emotions. I get it. So on one hand, I feel bad for the guy. But on the other hand, I'm just so damn skeptical about all of this. I'm sorry, but I'll be honest about my feelings. I am so skeptical about all of this. Why are we seeing these interviews with this man? Why are we not seeing interviews with Vance's wife? They keep interviewing this roommate guy who I guess Vance would stay there a couple of nights a week. They keep interviewing him, but what about Vance's wife? They're not trying to interview her? Why is the media focused on this guy? Because he keeps dropping little tidbits of information that they could roll with and make it, into a total, just go off about, oh, he's a Trump voter or a Trump voter. Is that why they keep interviewing this guy? Are we watching someone's raw emotions, or are we watching an act? And these are questions that I wish we did not have to ask. But in this day and age, there's so much deception. There's so much propaganda. There's so much just fake stuff going on out there that sometimes you look at stuff and you question, is this even real? It's all playing out like a movie. And all of these people look like bad actors. But speaking of Vance's wife, it's also odd to me that police caught her basically what appears to me like trying to make a run for it or something. You got your family packed in the car. You got a large amount of money. You got your passports. You got a weapon for protection. It looks like you're making a run for it somewhere. But apparently they questioned her and they let her go about her way. So who knows where she is? I'm sure they know. I mean, I don't know if they could even really keep a hold of her for that long, because what laws has she broken? You know what I mean? So I don't think they could just detain her for however long they want. They have to let her go, I would guess, if she's not breaking any particular laws. But I think that, finding her in the act of fleeing somewhere is just suspect in itself, definitely fishy in itself. And they probably know that, and maybe they think, hey, if we let her go about her way, we keep tabs on her, maybe she'll lead us to Vance. Because they have stated that Vance has been in contact with people since he committed these crimes, allegedly. But they don't know if he has help. They know he's been in contact with people. Now, we know he sent the pizza man a message after he did what he did. I don't know if he's been in contact with his wife or who else he contacted. But we know he contacted his pizza delivery friend. So I don't know if that's what law enforcement was referring to, or if they know that he contacted other people as well. But from what they say, he's been in contact with people, but they don't know if he's getting help. Now, usually I would not be that guy. But in this situation, it's hard for me to believe that this guy is just pulling this off by himself. And if he is pulling it off by himself, then I feel like he had to have, cars waiting, different, transportation waiting in different places, already, just staged there waiting for this to go down. This had to be something that was planned out very well, in my opinion. How did he get from the security vehicle that he left at the scene to the vehicle that they found today? Where did he get that car from? Where was that car waiting on him? You get what I'm saying here? Like, there's a possibility that this dude's been planning this out and he's just got a car waiting here, a bicycle waiting there. Who knows? Who really knows at this point? And I think there's really something shady about the fact that he was part-time staying at his house, which was not that far away, not far away enough to the point that you would get an entirely different room at someone else's house. So the fact that he would only stay at the pizza man's house a couple of nights a week, I think those days might have been the days where he was doing shady stuff and getting his plans together to do what he did. Are you guys following me here? I don't know how long he was planning on doing this. Maybe law enforcement knows. They have his manifesto. They won't release it. But this isn't something that he just decided spur of the moment to do. If this was something that happened to spur of the moment, it would be more chaotic. Right now, I don't know how to explain it, but this has been kind of clean, if you will. Like he has pulled this off in a very clean fashion so far. We're not seeing any high-speed chases. We're not hearing that this guy stole someone's car. We're not hearing that he broke into this house and he was hiding here for a little while. No, he has pulled this off very smoothly so far. So I feel like he had planned this ahead of time and maybe had things in place, including transportation in place for when the day came. Now, maybe I'm giving him too much credit. And I'm okay with that. Sure, maybe I am. But just looking at this guy, this does not look like the type of guy that would get away with all of this. But then again, supposedly he had this extensive security background. Working, in the security field in places like Gaza, Lebanon, some of the most dangerous places on earth. This guy was supposedly working there in some type of security capacity, doing Lord knows what. So we don't know what type of training this guy has. And we don't know what type of connections this guy has. We know some of his connections. We know that he's connected to some powerful people. But we don't know what type of connections he has as far as what type of help he may get along the way. Maybe he has some other security guards that are loyal to him that worked for his security teams in the Middle East and all this type of stuff. We don't know. We don't know what type of network this guy has. But just, from the outside looking in at this story, looking at all of the information we have so far, when you put it together, it does not add up. It's like pieces of a puzzle that are from a different puzzle. You know what I mean? Like, how did this guy go from a 7-Eleven manager to where we're at now? Lord knows. But it seemed to happen very quickly. And as always, it's like they're playing around with us when it comes to information about this guy. They know more than what they tell us. And I believe there's information that they have on this guy that they can release that won't necessarily hurt their investigation. But they're going to, play tight-lipped about all of that. And then they'll get on their press conferences and they'll ask people not to speculate about what his motive is. Please, guys, whatever you do, don't speculate about his motive. Meanwhile, they're in possession of a manifesto that may contain his motive, if the manifesto is even real. Because I kind of question, did they really even find the No Kings flyers in the back of the car? Who knows anymore these days when you're dealing with these dishonest people? But as of right now, at the time of this recording, the guy's still on the run. They're still out there looking for him. I'll keep you guys posted. If you live in the area, be careful. Hit that like button, though. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can do so via Cash App or Super Thanks. But with all that being said, I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.